Alright, so here we are as promised, out in the shop at St. Croix Chassis. I'm Robert Sparble. Today I'm going to talk to you about proper identification of some of the transmissions that are most desirable for lawn tractor racing. We're going to get started with the Peerless 700. So those of you that are familiar with lawnmower racing, you're looking at this first one and saying, that is not a Peerless 700. And you would be correct. Those of you that don't know, this is a foot, F-O-O-T-E, foot transmission. It's built as a 3-speed with reverse, chain drive. It's got the belt input to the chain output, and this is a common mistake. I've actually had someone bring me this one thinking they had a 700 in their hands. They paid dearly for it on eBay, and unfortunately it's just a demonstration piece because we cannot use it for lawnmower racing. I do know that some groups out there have been successful with it, but the parts and availability just don't make it very practical for using on everyone's lawnmower. As far as 700s go, this would be what we consider a farm fresh or barn fresh 700. You can clearly see it has not been cleaned up. Again, had a customer bring it to me to have it race prepped, and by pulling 4 bolts out, I was able to deliver some bad news to him. As soon as I got those out, took the shift linkage off, you will clearly see that this is a Peerless 500 series transmission, which does look almost, well, it does look identical to the 700. It even has the same bolt pattern on the bottom. So a lot of people have mistakenly grabbed these, used them, found out through failure that they don't have a 700. I'm going to grab a real 700 and show you just how close they resemble. It's identical. I've actually known people that have used the case halves off of a 500 series to build themselves a 700. So they are close. The shift linkage, again, would go right on here if this were on a stock mower. The only way to properly and for sure identify you have the correct one, pull this plate out. You're going to see that this one, in fact, is a Peerless 700 series. This particular one is a model 739. So this one I took in and will gladly build this into a strong, reliable race transmission for a client. So that's pretty much it as far as the 700 identification. It all comes down to this tag. And like I say, they hide that tag under the shift linkage. And you know, you pull the bolts out, take the shift linkage out. A lot of times you're going to have to take a rag, clean those off, and really look close. But 700 is probably the most popular race transmission out there. You can find them on eBay. A lot of people have them listed for $100. You can buy them brand new race prepped from other companies. I prefer to get the barn fresh ones, build them to my liking. They're easy to do. You can race prep them anywhere from a single speed to a 5-speed depending upon the club you run with, the track size you're running, how much adjustability you want on the track or on race day. So 700 for your average lawnmower racer, that's going to be the most common one. The second one I'm going to talk to you about is the Peerless 350 and the Peerless 400 series. As you can see, these two transmissions are identical with the exception of the output shaft. The case is the same. They're both 3-speed transmissions with an H pattern. This is maybe where some of the confusion comes in with the foot when people start talking about the ones you really want are the ones that are a 3-speed H pattern. And a lot of people grab those foots, again, thinking they have maybe a 350 or a 400, and they get the bad news from whoever's helping them out with building the transmission. So this is the 350. We're going to get the 400 out of the way for a moment. The 350, it's got, again, this barn fresh, they all are. This has got the 5/8 input, that would be a belt shiv, and then you've got the 5/8 splined output, only one. That would be a 350. You can take these apart, you can send them out to G-Team Racing in Bismarck, North Dakota. He'll race prep them, he does an excellent job. This is a little more desirable, being the 400 series. Typically you don't find tags on these. Once in a great while you will. The 400 series is identified because it has the same 5/8 input. However, you will see it's got two outputs. This one still has the stock sprocket on it. This one would have had a brake drum on it. And they're both going to be smooth bore that's keyed. I like using the 400s if I can find them. These transmissions are super hard to find. They left production approximately 35 years ago. So they're getting harder to find. So you won't see these quite as often as you would the 700s. Like I said, you're going to see, if there are 100 race mowers there, you're going to probably see 95 700s and 5 350s or 400s. They're just hard to find when they break. They're super hard to find parts. They don't make them anymore. Again, Peerless is a Tecumseh product, so they don't make Tecumseh anymore. Peerless 350s and 400s haven't been made for 35 years, and the parts are just obsolete unless someone has new old stock laying around. So, as far as shiftable type transmissions, that's it. I'm going to talk to you just a little bit about right angle gearboxes. Now, there is a mistake that's being made out there. Someone will bring me something that looks like this. It is a right angle gearbox, but this one has forward, neutral, and reverse. This is no good for anything other than putting your stock lawn tractor back together. Again, it would have been from the 60s or 70s. Huffy made a lot of them. This is for your restorer, not your racer. This is what a right angle gearbox looks like. This particular one is stamped LH on the top. And LH means that it's a left-hand drive. So if the engine is turning this way, you will see the drive is going this way. If you were to go like this and run the chain out that side, when your engine goes this way, you're going in reverse. So the only way this can be mounted is a left-hand drive. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people prefer them. I don't have a right-hand drive to show you, but this is a right angle gearbox, meaning input shaft comes vertical, output shaft comes horizontal, and they meet inside this gearbox by two bevel gears. This is a left-hand drive. This is what people are using on the Supermods, FXTs, FXSs. And, you know, really, if you get one that's good, you can pick them up pretty cheap. If you find one used, $50, $100, you can buy them new for $200. If you buy them used, it's a smart thing to go ahead and open them up, take the old grease out, go through the bearings, make sure they're good, put new seals in it, and put a synthetic race lube in it. A lot of times guys are just running 530 or straight 30. I've done both on FX class mowers and they've been fine. Never had an issue. The last thing I'm going to show you is something about 6 or 7 years ago I found on eBay. I thought it was going to be the next great thing in lawnmower racing and maybe a secret weapon. This little gearbox, I don't even know who makes it. Found it on eBay as a shiftable lawn tractor transmission. At the time I paid $100 for it plus shipping, and got it here and took it apart and realized that the shaft sizes are metric, the gears are goofy gear ratios. It's not your standard 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 on the inside. They're you know, they're fractional gear ratios, so it really didn't fit my needs. I kept it around thinking I spent some money on it, and someday it might go in some goofy project, but for today it's going to stay on the shelf and collect some dust. The last thing I want to just talk to you briefly about is if you're new to the lawn tractor racing thing or lawn tractor repair, this is a great investment. You can buy these on eBay. I've seen them for $8. I've seen them for $10 free shipping. But basically, it covers all of those, from the transmissions to the transaxles. It is just a wonderful thing. Once you read through it a couple times, you won't need it anymore, but I keep it around to show new guys.